Aside from the Wattpad and episode stories I read in middle school, I've never ventured into the romance section, let alone bought one. So because this is uncharted territory and I want to save my money, it's time we visit the library. No! Not gonna lie, while I was in college, I kind of forgot that public libraries existed, but now that I found out that they have popular books, prepare to be sick of me!
Prepare right now to be sick of me!
We will be reading 3 random books and seeing if we can find a 5-star amongst them, or if The Bad Boy Stole My Bra is as good as romance can get. The first book we have is Betting on You by Lynn Painter. It is a 4.10 on Goodreads, and because I've heard her name so much, that's why I decided to pick it up, because I'm shocked I even saw her in the library. These are literally so amazing. So I just got my first library book in a long time, and thoughts? It's cutie. It's cringe as hell, but that's because they're younger and like in love or whatever. It's weird to hear her talk about things that like exist in real life. Like right now, this girl just said she made an aesthetic video about the new Emily Henry book. I'm guessing she's a book tuber, but I have a feeling this will be a really sweet romance. And this is my 3rd romance book this year. Crazy. Okay, so yeah, I might have lied. I have read 2 other romance books. They were Icebreaker and Wildfire. I read them because of Maya Beatrice's reaction though. Like she was making this sound so good and fun. And let me tell you, they were fun. But the whole college ice hockey romance stuff is not representative of romance as a whole. So I figured I should give it a proper try. That's why we're gonna get these books. I'm about here, halfway through the book. It's the same day that I picked it up. And I obviously wouldn't get to this point if I wasn't enjoying it. Like, she's got me hooked, even in the slightest ways. If you don't know, this is Betting on You by Lynn Painter. She's known for Betting the Movies and The Do-Over. Those are the ones I've heard of. I haven't even heard of this book before. Maybe for good reason, maybe not. That's for me to decide. But so far, like, it's fun, but the writing is not aligning with me. Bailey and Charlie, they meet over the years, whatever. And the main thing that connects them is that they're children of divorce. That's the thing that like connects them. Aside from that, their personalities couldn't have been more opposite. You know what I'm saying? Like he is super laid back and she's very type A and anal and meticulous. So when they have to work together in high school, in their junior or like senior year of high school, they are like, oh, what are you doing here? But they also like having that comfort of being able to chat and really like get to know each other better. So we see like their friendship unfold, but one of the main things is that like he's like, guys and girls can't be friends. I saw When Harry Met Sally and Harry said that and like I fully believe it, rock on type of thing. Like man, come on, are you serious? That's just not true. And like the way he says it at times is really bothersome, but whatever, we'll move past that. This book also has this one thing that I think authors struggle with when they're writing dual POVs, which is making them 2 distinct voices. In this book and other books I've read, characters will describe something the same way or say something the same way, and it's just like, I know that I'm not listening to Bailey or Charlie, I'm listening to Lynn Painter. When I first like was reading in Bailey's POV, she likes naming people. When she sees the 2 people making out, whatever, he calls like the I that looks at him like a pronoun, like a proper noun. The I is what looked at me, not like his eye, which is like cute and quirky. And then she calls like this family of 4, she calls them the adorable family. And then she meets Charlie and he calls him Mr. Nothing. And it just continues. But he also does that when we're in his POV. And he's just like, oh, glasses, which is why it's like, oh, so they're both like this? Because I'm like, how likely is it that 2 people like to just randomly give nicknames to everything, to every different person that's a stranger to them, right? And at the same time, they have this whole like inner monologue, inner dialogue going back. Like Charlie's like, we can't be friends because guys and girls can't be friends. And then she's like, oh, we can't be friends because he says we can't be friends. But he's like cute, but like I can't like him because he's also insufferable. It's a cute little storyline, and it's like that way, like where people fall in love with each other because they kind of have like that annoyance. It's cute banter, but like when you hear them both saying similar things, it takes you out of it. Despite all of this, despite the disconnect in the age and the maturity levels, I don't just want to let the romance go. I want to see the story unfold. I want to see them finally get together. I want to smack them upside the freaking head and be like, hello, you like each other, and that's okay to like each other. Okay, but at the same time, I also want them to like not like each other, because I want to like be able to prove that like guys and girls can be friends and they don't have to be something else. So we'll see. I'd hope that there's a situation where we see that unfold. The last thing before I continue reading, the betting on you, that whole thing, it really just stems from the fact that like when they're bored at work, they do little bets. And one of the bets is one that I find controversial. It's one that like I wouldn't do, because like if I was this person's friend and I found out that you bet on something like this, I wouldn't agree with it. And I know that our main character Bailey, she says like, oh, like I shouldn't do this, I just do it because Charlie. But like at some point you have to be able to stand your ground and put your foot down. If there was a guy who was like asking me to bet on something like this with my own friend, I don't like it. But maybe it's because her and this friend, from what I've seen, don't really have that strong of a relationship, so it maybe doesn't matter as much to her. But that's one thing that I also don't like. It's hard, but we'll see if the story changes in the second half. Oh my god, where was I? Was I here? Oh yeah, there we go. Whippersnapper. Because that's what kids say. Again, the disconnect. Oh my gosh, I liked flirting with him, obviously. Flirting with an attractive person is fun. Why are you shocked? Never mind. I found out what perhaps betting on you really meant. Lynn, come on. It's overdone. I guess I'm looking for the word trite, I guess. It's degrading, it's stupid. I just know it's gonna cause a blow up. And that's gonna be frustrating. If you don't, boy, if you don't, this is the first time I've laughed in this book. It's because of this shit. I thought. Everyone, this book is stupid. This book is fucking stupid. This book is literally dumb. And I'm eating it up. Real people don't do this, and if they do, they need to stop reading books and watching movies. That's all. Real people don't do this type of thing. Spoiler, there's a spoiler coming. There's still a spoiler coming. It's about to happen in 3, 2, 1. Who the fuck says that they can practice kissing? Because they're not emotionally affected by each other. Who the hell says we can become Olympic level kissers? Sir, it's a fantastic sound that almost made me forget who I was kissing. If I had this love interest in real life, I would be fucking pissed. I would be like, leave me alone. You're a brute, you're a dick. I also have to say this, no teenage boy should regularly call other teenage girls a good girl. That's just weird, okay? It's gonna be a no from me, chef, okay? I think I'm going to keep on reading this until it's like midnight, fall asleep, and continue tomorrow. That's how much I have left. It's a nice morning. Let's finish this shit. This book is stupid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did I finish stupid?
No, we're at like this big conflict, but I have like 40 pages left. Not even that. Like, what the hell? I just know it's going to be rushed. So stupid. Just finished reading this book, and before I even tell you my rating, let's just say I'm surprised I finished it in one day. Like, I haven't done that in a minute. Obviously I didn't finish it in one day, but in the span of 24 hours, you know what I'm saying? So what I can say that it's easy to read, it's fast paced, it is at times enjoyable. If you just can turn off your brain, it can be really enjoyable. But for some reason, I couldn't. And I think it's because I was seeing red flags, just everywhere. I've decided to rate this book a 2-star, maybe a 2.5, but honestly, the fact that 2.5 is half of 5 is it feels about a 2-star. And that sucks, but let me explain. The main thing that these two characters share is the fact that they're children of divorce, but it honestly gives me this sort of icky feeling because they start planning out how we can make it so that our moms and our parents, girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever, stay out of our lives. That's kind of one of the main things that they try and bond over. And it's well, we can do this to bother him and separate them so that they don't join families and all that stuff. And while I get what it's as a child of divorce to feel your whole world's falling apart and things are changing, I just think that she regrets doing things too late. Like she doesn't, it's like she loses the ability to think for herself, Bailey, when she's listening to Charlie or Theo or all the other people. Because as much as it's like, oh, like, I don't like you, you're inserting yourself into our lives, that doesn't mean that you should forget completely about your parents' happiness, you know? And like, it feels like every time she remembered her mother's happiness, it was too late. I don't want to give too much away. I'll give it like a specific spoiler chunk later, but main thing about that book was that. The other parts, it's just like, this love interest was not one, like the guy, he's not one that I really was too fond of. Like, he says some sly things and it's a little fun, it's got me laughing and stuff, but at the end of the day, he makes this like big mistake and I hated it. I'm sorry, I did not like it. Like, and the way he handles it is super childish, it's immature, and for me, it just tells me that he is not ready for a relationship. Before I get to the spoilers and I get to the next part, know that even though I rated this like a 2.5 star book, you might still like it. You might enjoy it if you're the right age for it. If you've had a similar experience to it, you might. It's just that I don't connect with this character and there are things that I wouldn't put up with. But that doesn't mean that everyone is like that way. I just couldn't really find it in my heart to really rate this anything higher than a 2.5 because I wouldn't want this for my best friend. I wouldn't want this for myself. I wouldn't want this for my daughter. And although there are cute moments, it's not for me, okay? Not for me. But you might like it. I will try another Lynn Painter book later down the line, but for now, I think I'm good. All right? On to the spoilers. Oh my God. I did not like this guy at all. I did not like them, honestly. Period. I did not like them. And I didn't like the writing, and it just was so aggravating. They're immature. They're young, and they make dumb mistakes. And I understand, because God, I made a lot of stupid mistakes. I made some dumb mistakes when I was in high school, and so did my friends. And love is hard. But these two, I don't even want to describe it as love. Everything, like, was just, oh my God. Big spoiler, okay? Okay, you ready? You ready? All right. The title, Betting on You, is from two different bets. The first bet is one that Charlie brings up, and he's just like, I think Nikessa and Theo are going to get together. They're going to hook up because girls can't be friends with guys, yada, 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 even though Nikessa has a boyfriend. Nikessa has a boyfriend, and this guy is just betting on the downfall that she's going to cheat on him and be with Theo. Why did we have to resort to cheating? Why couldn't it have been like, oh, she might develop feelings for Theo and break up with Aaron? Why can't we think like that? Or maybe we can just think, oh no, she's a strong, confident woman. She's not going to fall for Theo. And also, we realize midway through the book, all of a sudden, Theo's a fucking shit person. Like, all of a sudden, he's not that good. He's not that great of a person. So it's like, why would we even, like, make her succumb to someone like that? Instead of Bailey standing her ground, she really just lets Charlie kind of step over her and convince her that this bet is worth it, that, like, we should make a bet between them, even though she firmly, like, believes that Nikessa is not going to leave her boyfriend for Theo. She's like, no, I don't want to, I don't believe it. But instead of saying, no, I don't want to do the bet, she's just like, I bet that she won't. When Nikessa finally finds out, like, she's angry, and then they make up and it's fine, whatever. But like, for me, if I found out that my best friend did that, I would be frustrated as well. But the fact that, like, that Bailey didn't try to explain it better, or she didn't try to talk Charlie out of it later on, like once they finally got friends, and said, like, by the way, that bet, it's stupid, like, I don't want to be a part of it. Like, why couldn't you have stood your ground? And I think we see that over and over again when it comes to Charlie, when it comes to anyone. It's like she has no backbone. They suggest something and she immediately goes with it, and she only regrets it after it's done. This other bet, which is where I think the main title comes from, is because Charlie had made a bet with Theo the first day they had met, whatever, that Theo had said, oh, no one would ever want to be with Bailey. She's too type A, she's too stuck up. And he's like, oh, you know, I bet that I could get her, sort of thing. And then they make that bet. He says that he had done that bet only to get Theo off of his back, right? But again, he could have done the same thing that I just suggested for Bailey, which is to say later on, like, I don't like that bet. I think it's degrading. I think it's messed up. I don't think that's right. If her and I get together, it's not because I've won something, unless it's her heart. Like, it's not me trying to win this bet. It's like a washed up version of every other movie. The movie that Addison Rae is in and the movie that came before that, they also have the same plot line where, like, they bet on changing the loser and dating the loser. And I just think it's, like, one of the stupidest things. I don't like the fact that these people still always end up falling for each other's, like, just despite the fact that they were an asshole, you know? And then there's another thing that bothers me. Now, this doesn't actually bother me that much, but it's the relationship that Bailey's mother develops with Scott, who is like this guy. It's sweet, it's nice, but one of the last final things that we see is that he proposes to her while Bailey is there, and like he was uninvited to this pizza restaurant, but Bailey and her mom are having like a mommy-daughter day, literally out here enjoying their freaking pizza, yada 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 yada, and then all of a sudden Scott comes in and he's like, oh my god, will you marry me? And the mom's like, oh my god, period, like yes. And then Miss Bailey just runs. Where did you think that this was a smart idea? One like day that she has with her freaking mom, that's frustrating. Everything I liked about Scott, I still like him as a stepfather, and he's a good love interest for the mom, but why would he do that? Why would he just come up and propose in the middle of a random pizza restaurant and like just mess up their day? It shows no forethought. It shows I just came up with this. It shows I didn't want to plan a proper engagement proposal, and I get it, they're older so they don't have to, but the least you could have done was not do it when like they're right there, you know, where her mom was the one who drove her. Because now what do you want to do? You want to celebrate this engagement, right? And the daughter's there and she's just feels weird, and this entire time we don't even see his daughter until the very end, and we don't even know anything about her aside from 2 lines where it's just like, she's actually really nice. Ugh. The ending, oh my god. Last thing, the ending was rushed. Point blank, period. Like, the fact that the conflict happened and I'm pretty sure I had like 40 pages left. Tell me what's more rushed. Tell me what could possibly be more rushed. The conflict happens and then it like jumps ahead in like weeks, and it's just like, oh, the weeks were hard without him. And you know what? I get it. That's normal. But it's the after. It's the fact that like we don't even really see them make up. He just shows up with this little kitten in his hands and he's just like, hey, I like you. And then I think they like might have confessed that they love each other, that they're falling for each other. And I'm like, where? Like, slow your roll there, okay? Slow it down. You actually need to put it in park. Spent so much time in Colorado and so much time at this trampoline fun amazing park, but when it actually comes down to like what could be the real problem, it just happens so quickly. I don't even really get to see him explain himself thoroughly and talk it out and have like a meaningful, deep conversation with each other. Oh my gosh, before I forget, this book is dating itself. Like, in 10 years' time, this book is not evergreen at all because there are, like, references to Taylor Swift and to Conan Gray and to Ted Lasso and all this stuff. And, like, while that's cool for us at the time, I don't think it's going to last forever. And as I'm reading, like, other people's reviews, I felt the same way. There were so many references to Taylor Swift. And people are like, it was only 2. She blatantly, directly references Taylor Swift, I think 4 or 5 times. And then there are like sneaky ways that she references Taylor Swift that I don't even recognize because I just don't know Taylor like that. For me, it got to be a little bit too much. Like, there are other artists, you know, if you're going to reference people like, and you're going to date yourself, you can mention Sabrina Carpenter. I know it's in the playlist in the back. So like, let's talk about other people. Let's talk about a little bit of Olivia Rodrigo, something. So for all those reasons, I'm giving it a 2-star. I'm not giving up on you, Lynn. I'll try again. I trust that you're a great writer, you know? And I'll see. I'm not giving up on your romance. I'm enjoying it. I still have finished every single romance book I read. I haven't DNF'd anything, so. Hey everyone, I'm currently going to the library for the 2nd time. I'm excited. I just finished babysitting my little sister, so it's time for me to enjoy myself and get some dang books. So after that experience, I decided maybe I should try to find a romance book I've never heard of before. No expectations, no hopes, no pressure. And luckily I found quite a few at the library, but what I didn't expect was to find people on the cover who look like me. Surprisingly, I'm finding a lot of like black romance. It's awesome. I got this book. Gio, what book did you get?
This one.
He's gonna read A Deadly Education, which I have. So this is Love Radio by Ebony Liddell. It has a 4.23 on Goodreads, which is the highest out of all the ones I saw, and that's why I picked it up.
Merry-go round, round with ya. In and out, then up and down, down, down. It's getting old, going around, round with ya. Think I need some solid ground. Merry-go.
It's a family workout. Hello. been a couple days. I'm back from my trip and I haven't really been filming, but like the past 2 days I've been reading Love Radio and I'm about to finish. I am on page 280 out of like 300, so I've really got a little bit left. I'm actually getting ready to go to the gym right now, and I usually bring my book to the gym, so there's a chance I might finish it while I'm there. But I should tell you what the book is about. This is actually my first ever Black love story that I'm reading. Like, I'm actually very positive that it is my first time ever reading a Black love story. And like, that's not just because like I haven't read romance. Like, I'm talking about in my fantasy books, in my dystopia, in my YA novels, this is the first time. Honestly, even when I would read Wattpad, I think every main character was usually not Black. Even with Legendborn, the love interest is white. And as you can see, these are two black love interests. It's been interesting because I feel like a lot of the culture is bred into this book, and a lot of it is about them being from Detroit, because that's where it's set. It's set in Detroit, Michigan, Motown sort of style stuff. And right off the bat, when you're reading this book, that it's made with a lot of love. So basically, our two main characters are Danielle and Prince. Prince is a radio show host, and his DJ name is Love Jones. And he basically is like a relationship expert despite being in high school. And Danielle is a writer, and she's currently going through a certain like writer's block, and she's cutting off her friends, and she's really like distant from the idea of love because she's focused on getting into school and because of what happened to her in her past. And her past has really negatively affected her. Speaking of that, you should read the trigger warnings if you ever plan on reading this book. But basically, Prince has always had a crush on her, and because he's the expert in love, he's like, you know what, I should take my own advice, and I'm gonna go for the girl I like. And they have like a weird little encounter and everything, and the story kind of unfolds from there. So far, I'm enjoying it. It's not like this is the craziest, best, amazing, most love story ever, but like, it's sweet, and I'm enjoying the characters. I didn't like the girl character at first because she was so like against love to the point where it was just kind of being annoying in a sense. And like the fact that they're even talking about love like specifically is also kind of like throws me off because they are just high schoolers, but maybe that's why they talk about love so loosely. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get you to love me in 3 dates, man. I'll get you to love me in 3 dates. And I'm just thinking, sir, that's crazy. Because like, I don't know, I get that these are romance stories, but romance stories don't have to be love stories. Or they don't have to start off with love. Like, it doesn't have to be what I've heard people say, insta love. It can be that you like someone, and it takes a while to say that you love someone. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure Gio and I said we love each other after like a month. So I'm not one to judge. I really shouldn't be judging. But I'm just gonna see how it ends, okay? We're gonna see how they put everything back together. So that day I ended up playing basketball instead of reading, but I balled out, so it was fine. Watch me whip this blue, bro. You gotta know what's coming to him. No! That is cheating! And you suck too.
Ma'am.
What?
Get that shit out of here.
Oh, those but no cigar. Okay, so I never said we were professional basketball players, but we were having fun. And after a couple days of reading at the gym, I finally finished. For Love Radio, I've finally given it a rating of 3.25, maybe 3, which is what I give a book when it's good.
I'm waiting for you to be great.
I truly wish I could have rated it higher, just because it's my first Black love story. I really wanted to, but I just never found myself being that intrigued or excited to pick it up. And I think a lot of it had to do with the writing. I just think it was a little too flowery, if you will, purple prose perhaps. I just think that paragraphs on paragraphs about a switchboard or headphones or like writing and everything, it gets to be too much. Maybe if you love music or you're a writer, you'll enjoy it, but it wasn't for me. However, I will say that the actual story was nice. I loved seeing Prince taking care of his mother and his little brother. I loved seeing Dani finally build up her relationship with herself and then slowly start to like add back her friends in her life. And it was realistic. It just wasn't anything that I wanted to keep on reading. But it was beautiful. Don't get me wrong. And I think if you're from Detroit, it's such a good homage to the city and you'll love it. And now it's time we get to the last book.
which is Happy Place by Emily Henry. It is actually the lowest of the three at a 3.99 stars, but it's also the only one that's won a Goodreads award, which was for Best Romance in 2023, and also over 1 million people rated it, and that pool is just so much larger than the other two. That's probably why it's a little lower. But 3.99 is pretty good for that amount of people. So for this one, I actually put it on hold to see how that worked. And of course, I embarrassed myself in the process. It was really easy. I just requested it. It got shipped to my library and I picked it up. And then I got to read it. If you're like me, you've definitely heard people talk about Happy Place and Book Lovers and Emily Henry, but when they talk about the synopsis, it just kind of goes in one ear, out the other, and it's gone. So this is my quick synopsis. There are 6 friends, 3 couples, and one of the girls, I'm pretty sure it's her, Sabrina, has a really rich family, and they own a mansion because, like, why not? And that's where they go to vacation all the time. They're really close friends. They've known each other for, like, years, it seems. I think it was, like, 6, maybe 9 years they've known each other. And the main person that we're following is her, Harriet, and her main problem is that her ex-fiance is here. They don't know that they're ex-fiancés. So they are trying to be doing a little bit of a fake dating trope. We have a sharing one bed trope, a whole thing. And they can't even tell them yet because they might ruin the happiness for the other people. So the main thing about this book is that it goes back and forth between flashing back to like when they first started dating and like where they are right now. And part of me just wishes I got like when they first met, like in its own thing, because it seems like really cute and their banter when they just first met was really sweet. But it's nice that she includes it in this book because then like the current present day probably wouldn't have been as fun and interesting. It would, but you would kind of feel like bad about it because you're like, oh, they broke up, like they should not be here right now. So getting the like when they were really good and getting when they're not so good is pretty good balance, I should say. Even if I want to get the good parts only, it works really well for the story. I'm starting to suspect that we may be a wee bit inebriated. Inebriated. Love a quote. Love a good quote.
I'm so confused. I'm like, ma'am, it's 11:42.
So it started raining, so now we're inside. How are you doing, Drew?
Now I'm dry.
Are you watching Alexmary Faiga or are you watching Haley Pham? You'll never know.
Are you watching Ryan Trahan or Giovanni Molina? We'll never know.
We just went on a little trip like 15 minutes before Target was closing and we got the flavors that were left over there. A lot of them were sold out. So we have the sour strawberry ropes and the sour watermelon wedges. We tried them already because the lady at the cashier, she was super cool, super chill. Her name was River. She was like, you better have to try them right now. You have to try them right now because like they're $5. You have to try them right now. I was like, okay, bet. We ate them and I liked them. I was like, they're good. I think they're worth it because they're healthy. Maybe I would want less. Maybe I'd want them to be the same price as Smart Sweets. But
Yeah, I mean, for $4.46 is not bad.
yeah.
Inside secret, we replace high sugar with prebiotic fiber. There are 3 servings per bag, so enjoy responsibly. Meaning, if you have too much of this candy, you're gonna poop.
Allulose is a non-artificial sweetener that is found in foods like raisins and figs. I probably shouldn't have too much. I have a shoot tomorrow. So we're just gonna read for a little bit of this, and I'm gonna prepare for that. Because it's already 10:40 and we still have to do our Duolingo. Hey, put it up, put it up.
I did that thing.
Oh. Are you in your happy place? Oh no, definitely not me. Definitely not me with that one.
You got a photo of on my face.
Huh?
You got a photo of on my face.
Love one. Nice. Love you. Thank you. Love you too. Bye. It's so sad. It's not sad, but it's like beautiful. It's a beautiful, heartfelt love confession right now. I am on around this way, so I'd say like 3/4 of the way, or like 66% of the way, and I really do like this book. I think it's really sweet. I feel like a lot of the topics are so genuine, so real. It makes my heart like just feel pulled to it. It's devastating, honestly, but it's beautiful. And I really do think like
we're gonna see some, not only character development, some more love grow, and I don't even care about the romance. I just care that he's okay, that she's okay. I want them to be happy.
Making mochi donuts again.
Just powdered sugar? Do you want to put this in there too? Or how do you want to do
I want to try just powdered sugar. You don't like the way I do it? You don't like how other people do
No
it?
love in it.
There's zero love. If I want love, I'll pick up my book again. Oh my.
What?
Do you not see the...
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It's okay. It's sad, but it's happy. It's sad, but it's happy, but sad. No! I ended up finishing Happy Place and rating it a 3.5 star, which is the highest out of all of them. And I think a lot of it had to do with the way the characters talked. They were fun. I liked the writing. The time back and forth actually worked really well and kept me a little bit more invested in the story. I think I mainly enjoyed like the beginning. The middle was fine, and then I was kind of just getting through the ending to see like how it was going to wrap up. And I will say, not only is communication key, but effort is even more important than that, because the fact that our two characters, hi Pamela, the fact that our two characters have been previously engaged, they have a long history with each other, you would think that they would just try harder to talk through what they're going through instead of just like not, and just kind of giving up a little bit. It felt like it took them too long to finally chat it out and really have a heartfelt conversation. And then the ending, it just was not realistic financially. That's how I'm gonna put it. So that definitely brought it down a bit. And this is also random, but there were two vegan side characters, and I felt like they never ate anything substantial enough. That's just me. Okay, fries in a salad is not fun. But maybe that's what's realistic, I guess. It just kind of sucks. Now, even though I didn't find a 5-star, I do think I'm going to continue checking out romance books and maybe even trying these authors again, because who knows, maybe I will find a 5-star. Which, by the way, if you have any good suggestions, feel free to type it in and slide that in there, okay? Thank you so much for reading with me. I can't wait till we do it again. And for now, I bid you adieu, au revoir, adios, and aloha. Bye. I found that clip right there. Hey. Yeah? I'm typing out the book.
Actually, I have sleepy breath.
Give me kissy, sleepy little breath. Give me kissy.
It's okay, when you're ready. When you're ready.
That's my love story right there.
Okay,
Dude.